Today I'm going to be showing you how you can use your Google Nest Hub for almost everything that you need and what it will offer. And will you even use these features? Now let's get gnarly. The Google Nest Mini and the Google Nest Hub, they are very particularly different. On a Google Nest Hub, you just have your microphone button right here or switch on the back to mute or unmute, and you just have your plus and your minus buttons available. Now for the Google Nest Hub, here it is basically having a 7-inch display screen as well as a larger speaker on the back for your music and so forth. Mute the Google Nest Hub on the very back, you will see at the top in the center that it's currently slid over onto the left side. But if you slide it to the opposite side, it's going to say that the microphone is off itself. Now with the microphone off itself,
the mic's back on.
This will mean that the microphone will not listen to the command word, "Hey Google," which will allow you to go into the commands of what it can basically do for you without yourself using your hands. And if you want to mute it,
the mic's off.
Yeah. But another feature is that it will show it right there. So
the mic's off.
It will show it right there. It will say microphone off. And right near the ambient sensor, it's going to show this red light. Now just to turn it off, just slide it
the
again.
Mic's back on.
And it will say microphone on. And there you go. You can. That's just for if you don't know how to do it. If you're going to do it on your Nest Mini, it's the same switch, but it's near the power port. Just slide it from the left to the right, and there you go. When it comes into specs or specifications of the Google Nest Hub, many people will know about it. So first of all, this is a 7-inch digital screen. It has two far-field microphones, one for wherever far it is, and the same thing for the other side. Right here in the middle is the ambient EQ light sensor.
The mic's
off.
off.
There's a mini red hidden light.
The mic's back on.
Then you're able to know if you're muted or not. There are 3 different ambient modes, clocks, and so forth. And it can be set as a picture frame to put your family photos or something like this video at the lake. Now, the Google Nest Hub is about 7 inches from side to side, or however you would measure it. Now there is a Google Nest Hub Max, and I'll have an affiliate link to that in the description down below. But that one is about 13.2 inches. If not, then I'm not sure. Then right here on the 2 sides we have our 2 far field microphones and our ambient sensor right with the ambient EQ light sensor. Now with this ambient EQ sensor, there are 3 different ambient modes. Also, one is for the morning, one is for the middle of the day, and of course one is at night. However, they do come in different type of forms. There are clocks and so forth. Plus, this can add in as a picture frame. You know those like big giant TVs that almost looks like a picture frame? Well, you can do it available right now with your own screen. This looks like a picture frame, but a tiny bit bulky, but I think the new ones are coming out with one that are thinner, just like the Lenovo Smart Hub, whatever it could be. Before the update of the Google Nest Assistants or Google Nest Hubs, you would have to slide from right to left, so then you can have access, and it would only show you discovery and not that much. But now you can do the exact same thing, or from top to bottom, and you'll get access to your home control, to your lights, and so forth. If you just got started with building your smart home or building your camera lineup to be a filmmaker, I cover that all on my channel. And if you're new here, click on that subscribe button, because that's going to give you access to the knowledge, to give you the growth, to learn about the future of technology and filmmaking. Now let's continue on with the media. Now the media that can be played on the Google Nest Hub is YouTube Music, Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, and Deezer. These are all the brands. For the video feeds, it can now accept Netflix, YouTube, Disney+, Hulu, Google Photos, and everything else that's popping around. Okay. Now this will be covered in the future video because there's a lot that you can do with this feature, especially when you have kids and they just want to manage this screen because it's their own and they're going to love it. So, if you hadn't yet, again, subscribe, because I'll go into filmmaking and smart home technology to grow your home to become smarter every day. Because we're always at home, we would want to use a huge TV, but get excited with this feature, which is not so new, but still, on the YouTube app, just tap on YouTube or Netflix or what so forth it can be, and just select a video. I'm going to my channel this time, and we're going to go on to tips and tricks. If you haven't checked that video yet, you should go ahead and check that out. And I'll lower down the volume on here this time. Now it says here, enjoy YouTube on your home devices. To get started, allow access to your local network. By local network, that means it's your own network. If you're playing Minecraft, it's like placing in localhost, then the port number. That's what it is. This is so then they can access it. So we'll click on next, then OK, and it says OK. Now it passes through. Now I'll just tap on this icon that has some lines that's beaming out that you see on the Wi-Fi, and now it shows here AirPlay, my TV, living room display. So I'll just select living room display, and there it will load. So if I put up the volume right now, you can actually listen to any Android app. Tap on your phone, and right here on the bottom, you can listen at how good the volume is, which I might do in a future test. And in this case, you can use that too. And if you want to just stop record it, if you just want to stop playing it on your Google Nest display, just click on disconnect, and that will be out of the way on your Google Nest display. It does not only do YouTube, it can do YouTube TV if you have a subscription, or Google Photos, and all of the other things that I just mentioned. Now into the smart home functions, because remember, we are building our smart home together. So when we build our smart home, you can ask it what its Wi-Fi speed is by going from top to bottom, and you will see connectivity. When you tap on connectivity, it's going to show your previous Wi-Fi. Now this function is mainly only for if you have is the Google Wi-Fi or Google Nest Wi-Fi. So if I just tap on run speed test, then it's going to, oh, this is new. Okay, this is new animation, and it will calculate the download and upload speed from your ISP or internet service provider into your Google Wi-Fi or Google Nest Wi-Fi. Then it will send it to the Google Nest Hub on what it is, and you don't need to do it through the Google Wi-Fi app, which I'm impressed on because I usually use the Google Wi-Fi app in order to figure this out. Okay, 223 megabytes and 10 megabytes. Now, it will say it out loud too, but by the speed, that means my download speed is fast and my upload speed is fast. However, if it goes into megabyte or gigabyte connection, that's usually when it's the fastest because I upload these videos all the time. And, you know. So here from the reference from Tech with Brett, if you have is a dimmer on your light and you connect it through the app, I'm going to have a future video on this again. So in order to dim it, you just slide it from left to right in a circle type of form, and you can do it in the back, and you can also do it backwards. Now if I tap here on lights, I can see all of my rooms that I had set. Let's go into Film Studio, and I'll turn off the light that I have back there, which there should be small differences in the video. Yeah, small difference. Now if you have a dimmer light, then you're able to actually dim the entire light itself and change its color, just like the Philips Hue type of lights. Now if we swipe from right to left again, then we will have our media access towards YouTube on your YouTube recommendations, Spotify, news, and podcast. And now here in communication before discovery, it will show your household contacts, as well as you're able to make a broadcast, a phone call, or a broadcast to another room, or make a video call with the Google Duo. You can check out the Google Duo video about how you can use a video call through your Google Nest Hub. And you can do video calls through Google Duo. I'll make a future video about this, but if you want to know about the tips and the tricks on Google Duo, I'll have that linked in the description down below. Now with the broadcast feature, this is my favorite feature, and this is why I have almost, camouflage. This is why I have almost barely any Alexa or Amazon Echoes, and generally more of the Google. So when you do a broadcast, basically it's going to go to one or more Google Assistant devices, and it will broadcast all around your home. Now this can get pretty messy because it does not sync all together perfectly. Now with this, your admins are able to continue on passing it along. But the best feature with the intercom broadcast feature is you're able to say, hey Google, time for bed, hey Google, time for breakfast, time for lunch, and it's going to make out its own custom and won't just use your voice. It will decorate the entire audio interface itself and be amazing. However, they should come out with more options. So Google, if you're watching this, please come out with more options for the Google Broadcast intercom feature, because it's amazing, and you gotta add more than the Amazon Echo, because they have a tidbit feature. They added a small tiny feature that you're able to add in your own bell, and that should be in the Google Nest Hub. Now if you swipe again, then we go into our discovery. So if you're bored in the boredom world, or during summer when it's considerably called summer break, and you just get bored, then you can just go into the Google Nest Hub, swipe all the way to the right, and I forgot to mention, there's the time right there. So right here in Discovery, there's recipes for me. I like enchiladas. Gotta know about that, enchiladas. Yeah, this is getting what I want. Beef burgers, and right here it says, hey Google, what are coronavirus symptoms? And it'll just go over it. This does update over time, and it seasonally does too. It says, manage my photo frame, how many liters in a gallon. You can convert without a calculator. Will it rain tomorrow? You can ask it the weather, teach me something new. And here is if you're bored. You can ask it for a fun fact. You can tell it a joke. Calories in an apple. How far away is Melbourne? Where we'll show a map. Whatever that means is find killer recipes. What can you do? Turn on interpreter mode. So let's ask Google one of these. Hey Google, tell me a joke.
Why shouldn't you write with a broken pencil?
Why?
Because it's pointless.
Well, yeah, it's pretty cool, and it's pretty good too. Now let's tap functions. Let's go ahead and go along with it. We'll exit out of everything. This is pretty cool to have this feature right here, that if you want to go back to your home screen, you can go right there. If you're going to be on Do Not Disturb mode, just swipe one more time, and it's in dark mode. It's on nighttime. It shows the time right there, and you can have other custom presets in the Google Home app that you can manage. Now here from the bottom, you can go from the bottom to the top, and it will show these options right here. But right here is the brightness, about how bright you will want it. You can let it be at 10, you can let it be at 3. I preferably have it at 4 because it's good enough for eyes, but that should just go by simply by the ambient EQ sensors. So if it's dark, then it'll go to 10 or so forth. And with the other functions that it has, you can set your volume for when you have is your alarms, and the general volume. Who plays Minecraft with shulker boxes? I think this is where they got their noise. Okay, enough messing around. Let's figure out the next one. Right here with the minus sign, that's for Do Not Disturb. It does not make any noise. Now let's go back out. You can make an alarm without your voice, or in the app you just tap on those two and you just select some type of time, PM, AM, so forth, and you just swipe to the right to get it bit. Now, this function is for, tell me.
Okay, what do we need to fix?
For their feedback. If you know about the Tesla, that's a cool feature. You just tap on a button, or you ask the Tesla something like, Tesla, send me a feedback, and it's going to ask you what the feedback is. It will do a voice record, and that will permit it to send it into, and that will permit it to continue on. Right here is the settings icon. In settings, you're able to know more about your device. You're able to know your display and which mode you want it. Now, this will be using the EQ interface, where you have the light theme, Let it load. Yep, the light theme or dark theme if you want to be like Darth Vader or in Star Wars. Or you can put it on auto, which is what mainly everybody will have and what you will have by default. You're able to know where your photo frame is or what your photo frame is or should be. That should be Google Photos because that's the only app. I'm not sure or I'm unsure if they have it on anything else. You have your network. Now you can't really change your network from the Google Nest Hub itself, but you can exchange it through the app because that's mainly the only way. However, then you have to disconnect, connect to the Wi-Fi again, and go into your phone, you know. Now, here, you'll have your regulatory labels, which is on every device now, digitally. Your open source licenses, which is pretty much a coded script by Google. Well, no, it's not really coded, but you know how it works. Now, you might be doing some weird things with the Google Nest Hub, but this is what you should not do and what it cannot do. It can't install apps, so if you have a phone, it's not like a computer right here or a tablet. Well, it is a tablet, but it's a Google version. So you can't install the app because you need to install on your phone is the Google Home app. So then you're able to connect your smart home devices together and it must have internet. Now you must have good internet. If you have bad internet, then it's not going to work that well. It's not waterproof. So if you're going to plan to put it outside on the porch, make sure that when you're not at least using it or using it as a picture frame, that you at least cover it with some type of glass or something like that that's insulating it. Because if you don't, then you're going to mess up the speaker that's on the back side of the Google Home. Right here where the G is located at, that's where the speaker is, and there's some treble and bass in there. Now these are casual everyday home uses that you could use, like, hey Google, set an alarm for 3:30 a.m. Nobody really
Done.
wakes
Your
up
alarm's
that
set for
much.
tomorrow at
And
3:30
then you can
a.m.
also, hey Google, wake up with music at 4:30 a.m. by Josh Groban.
Done. I'll play Josh Groban music for tomorrow at 4:30
Or either
a.m.
you can use this feature, hey Google, cancel all alarms.
Alright, now they're both off.
And you can ask them about recipes, just like what we have on Discovery. Hey Google, how many enchiladas can I make with a recipe? My questions are pretty
Here
far
are some
off,
recipes I found.
but it still got it.
Here are some recipes I found.
Now, if I just tap on this one, then you're able to go through, you are able to see the ingredients that you need, the steps, and how many servings it can make for you. And it should tell you the time and so forth with what it needs. Boom! There's 6 servings, 10 minutes of prep work, cook 50 minutes nutrition, and 413, and so forth. Now, out of the way, then we can ask Google to also load up videos like, hey Google, show me the recent video of Tech with Brett. Got Tech with Brett right there. And there we go, we have Brett on our screen right here. Or you can go, hey Google, show me on YouTube Jimmy is promo. And there we go, got Jimmy is promo. Hey Google, play the recent YouTube video from Chris Rastelli. And it will show you the latest videos. And it's going to be showing you the latest videos available of that creator. Now you can't really search it, just like how I showed, you have to cast it from your phone to the device itself. Now you can also ask the weather, or either just tap on the weather and I'll just tell it to you right there. I just tap on it. Work. I'll show you the weather, the highs, the lows, and if there is any chance of rain, which is none today. 68, 67, and pretty chilly tonight. And it can also ask you about the traffic. This camera's about to die, so I'll have to use this one somehow. So the traffic, you can ask it from home to work, or from Lake Tahoe, or it'll show you a map basically on the side. I'm not going to do that because of privacy purposes. And with Google Duo, I'll just activate my key roll here on my app. Routines, ... from the latest video of the tips and tricks.
Making a call to Reagan V Films on Duo.
I just tap on accept. Let's mute each other. So, if you can recognize, on the Google Nest Hub, I can basically see myself, and you can see yourself right here on the Google Nest Hub. But there's no transmission feed because there's no camera on the Google Nest Hub. However, if you do want it, then on the Google Nest Hub Max. But if you want a camera on your Google Nest Hub Max, you will need to get the Nest Hub Max, not this version of the Nest Hub, because it doesn't really have a camera on it. Because if I just show it to you right here, there's no camera. Right. However, you can talk back and forth, just like this, and it's really loud. So basically, everybody in your house are able to listen to what you have. Now, if you want to know how to use this, actually, let's turn it off. It's a little, but if you want to know how to use this feature or get this feature or function, I'll have the link in the description below to that video. Now, with Google Duo Calls, it's pretty amazing about how you can continue to communicate back and forth, especially with my routine, which will automatically drop in if you know about the Amazon Echo feature. All of these features that I mentioned that the Google Nest Hub can offer to your own needs can be applied to your own home right now and depending upon the future updates in the future. Now, if you're new into smart home technology like the Google Home, and if you own many of those, I'll have that covered on this channel too, as well as camera technology and filmmaking. If you're into those things, then go ahead, so click on that subscribe button, and please just like the video for the YouTube algorithm so it can expand out and share this video with other friends who have your Google Nest Hub, or what you can learn today. This is what you learned today. It's pretty cool. Now, this is all what I have. Shaka and mahalo.